Good afternoon, Halifax. Roy Thomas from Sutton Group Professional Realty and Halifax Senior Living. Today we're going to talk about CARP, what they've accomplished in 2019, and the projects they're going to be working on for 2020. I'm sitting today with Bill VanGorder. He's the past chair and senior spokesman for CARP, which is Canadian Association of Retired Persons. So Bill, first off, thanks for joining me today. Maybe we could talk about what CARP accomplished in 2019, some of the issues they were advocating for.
Yeah, well, thank you for inviting me, and happy to talk about CARP again. CARP Nova Scotia has been very active over the last year, and much of what we've done has focused on Nova Scotia, although we were certainly involved federally with the election. And the accomplishments, unfortunately, with the provincial government here in Nova Scotia, it's been a tough year for seniors. We still have problems with long waiting times in our hospitals. We still have problems with pharmacare not covering. We still have trouble with low-income seniors not having the supports that they need. We have made some progress in terms of having the government notice us and be concerned, but we're really going to be focusing as we come into the new year provincially on the upcoming provincial election, because seniors need to have more attention to their needs in Nova Scotia.
Excellent. So for going into 2020, because there's talk there may be an election, and technically it's not till 2021, but they could call it this year. So what is the CARP proposing to do if there is a potential of an election?
Well, we have a number of priorities, and broadly they're based in three areas: financial security, health security, and our seniors' concern about the environment. As far as financial concerns, income security is the big issue. Costs are going up, taxes are going up, food prices are going up, but seniors aren't getting any increases in their fixed income. Even low-income seniors, you may have noticed just recently that the increase that low-income seniors got amounts to something around $30 a month, which in no way keeps up with the cost of living increases that seniors have had. Pension priority is also something that's a concern for seniors in Nova Scotia. We need laws and rules that make sure that seniors who have pensions are able to keep those pensions. There's a lot of movement to reduce pensions, to have them become fixed in such a way there's no increase for them. And many of these people, worked all their lives believing they would get a certain level of pensions, and now they're finding that governments and others are talking about taking those gains away from them. So we really want to focus on that. We also want to focus on protection for small investors. Seniors who have small investments are often at the whims of the market and the people who they ask to advise them, not having the kind of protection they need. And we're continually hearing about seniors having their savings taken away from them or extremely reduced because they get bad advice. People who give advice to seniors on pensions should be made to make sure they're giving good advice. And the final area that we're working on in finance is the whole area of senior entrepreneurism. More and more older Nova Scotians are continuing to work. Hardly anybody retires at 60 to 65 anymore like they used to. Some because they want to keep working, and others because they have to, because they just don't have the income that allows them. So, and what we know is that seniors who start jobs are much more, or start businesses, are much more likely to be successful in those businesses than younger entrepreneurs. So we need to not only put emphasis on encouraging our young people to stay in our province and become entrepreneurs and small business people, but we need to encourage seniors to use their experience and their knowledge of business to be able to continue to do that themselves. And that's up to the province to do that. Also want to talk about the environment. Seniors are really concerned about how they leave this province and this land to their children and their grandchildren. In the surveys that we did with our CARP members before the federal election, we found out that concern about the environment was in the top 3 concerns that seniors had right across the country and right here in Nova Scotia. So one of the things that we're really pushing for in Nova Scotia is more attention to the Blue Mountain Birch Cove Lakes Regional Park, which has some support from the provincial government, some support from the municipal government. We're getting a few other not-for-profits involved, but now we really need to step up and make sure that the appropriate part of that land is still available for the recreational use of all the province. And of course, the final area is the whole area of medical support in Nova Scotia, and we just have a real problem in Nova Scotia with the kind of medical service that we're getting, and seniors are so concerned about that. The waiting time, the average waiting time for specialist appointments now in Nova Scotia is 33 weeks, and that's an average. That's unconscionable that people should have to wait that long when they're referred to a specialist. We're also concerned about pharmacare. We need more important drugs covered. The government recognized and said that the new high-dose flu vaccine is much more effective for older Nova Scotians, so they supported it in all the long-term care homes. But that means the people who are trying to stay in their own homes aren't able to get that support for that more expensive high-dose vaccine. They can still get the low dose, but they can't get the high dose that's indicated as being most appropriate for seniors. So those are some of the areas that we're concerned about, and as we lead up to an election, as you say, whether that's going to be this year or next year, now is the time that we believe that elected officials start listening more to the people who vote for them. Seniors vote more than anyone else. Our surveys show that up to 95% of CARP members vote in every election. We believe the politicians understand that, and they're going to want to listen to what seniors have to say, and we're going to try to give a voice to that in the upcoming year.
Excellent. Now, if people want to get involved in CARP, I guess the first thing they could do would be to buy a CARP membership.
Absolutely, yeah. CARP membership is only $15 a year. It's not expensive, but it allows us to have the numbers we need. We have almost 10,000 CARP members in Nova Scotia, and that means when we speak to the government, they know that we're talking on behalf of a lot of people. And in our work through the Seniors Advisory Council of the provincial government, that used to be called the Group of Nine, when we work together with them, we represent 135,000 seniors in Nova Scotia, and that's the kind of thing that politicians pay attention to. So we'd like people to join. It's only $15, and they can join actually by going to your website right here, because we've got a link on it on how they can join.
Yeah, you can go to halifaxseniorliving.ca. There is a link on there to join CARP. And by the way, when you do join, if you want to get a subscription to Zoomer Magazine, that's also available for a couple of extra dollars.
$10 more.
$10 more for a year, so that's a great thing to have. Interesting read.